This cute face is Ollie, and this cute face is Santa. And Santa is actually a pocket, so you can put knives and forks in there and use them as a place setting. So just behind the fringe here is where you can put whatever you like. It doesn't have to be knives and forks. And of course, you can put your napkins in there as well and have one for each one of your place settings at the Christmas table. It's ever so simple to make. You can hand sew, you can machine sew, and to be fair, you don't even need to sew. You could actually glue these together as well. And it's a great way of getting the kids involved in craft. So let's get crafting. So I'm going to need my beige fabric for the face, a square of the red fabric for the hat, and the white fabric for the fringe across the top of the hat, and of course Santa's beard and moustache. He's going to have a red pom-pom. He's going to have a white pom-pom for his nose, but you could use a button instead if you wanted to. I've got two little button eyes, which could actually be buttons, or you could embroider them or even draw them. Some strong wet glue. There's a 4-inch circle template, which I've got of some ribbon, and a 6-inch circle template, which for me is a saucer, and some blusher, and a cotton bud, and a marking pen, and my tweezers, and my scissors, and of course my sewing machine as well. So, what we're going to do first of all is draw Santa's face. So I'm going to take my circle, and I don't want the whole full circle because he needs to go straight across the top, because that's where his fringe is going to be, and that's going to be the top of the pocket. So probably place the circle about 1/3 of the way down over the edge of your plate. And remember, these don't have to be absolutely perfect. It's a little bit of fun. It's a great way of getting the kids involved in sewing as well, because remember, you don't have to even use a sewing machine for these. So there's Santa's face. Once you've cut out the pieces, if you're making more than one and you want them all to be identical, then use this as a template to make another one. And the same for the hat, and the same for the beard, of course, as well. So I've probably got enough for a couple of pieces if I'm a little bit more sparing from one of those 9-inch squares. Right, then I'm going to use this as a template to cut Santa's hat. So if I place this on the diagonal, I'm going to cut around here. I'm not going to draw that bit. And then a straight line just going up to the point of the felt. And again, that doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. It can go off at an angle. So around this side. So it doesn't have to be symmetrical at all. That's fine. And then the point of Santa's hat actually folds over to one side, and he's going to have a pom-pom on there. And that should leave a gap big enough to put your knives and forks just in the side there. So now let's go for the beard. And I'm going to use Santa's face as a template again. I want the beard to be bigger than his actual face. So let's draw from the top of his face here. And his beard's going to be almost like a big flower or a big cloud. These circles don't have to be even at all, like so. And then the smaller template, I'm going to put that 1/3 of the way over his face and draw around that for the shape of the beard that goes over the face. I don't want the side bits here to go to a point. That'll be explained why later on. So let's overlap that by around about 1/3 and draw around here. And then we'll cut this out for his beard. You could do a spiky beard. We could feather this by putting little cuts into it. You could stick white pom-poms all over it, or even cotton wool buds. So you could really have a lot of fun with this. Hey. Have I've got a bobbin playing with a bobbin under the table. No. Good girl. So I was going to say carefully cut around here, but you don't even have to cut this carefully. Make them in different sizes as well. There we go. And then cut out the face piece, the face piece as well. I think somebody's found a toy under there. Oh, she's found a tail under there. That's what that is. All right, and I'm using a heat erasable pen, so all of my pen marks will disappear with a blast from the iron. So that's going to sit over the face like that. The face sits over the top of the hat. This is brought forward like so. So you can see it really coming together. I will need a moustache and a fringe. So the fringe is supposed to look like the fringe of the hat. That's going to be about 3/4 of an inch in width, and again I'm using the top of the face as a template. Like so. And I'm going to snip into this, not all the way through, but just cut into it at, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch intervals. Don't have to be perfectly even. Go on. All the way across, like so. So that's going to go across the top of the head like that. That goes on there, that goes over the top. The final thing we need is the moustache. So mine's going to have a little white nose which goes here. And I can actually cut the moustache from the piece of the face that I cut away. So if I fold this in half, and I'm going to cut a semicircle all the way around, but not quite meeting. So when I open this out, it's like a pair of sunglasses actually. And again, to make it more moustachy, I'm just going to snip into the sides like so and make a fringe. And that sits over there like that. So we can start sewing it all together. So first of all, we're going to put the beard around the face. And I'm only going to sew around the little semicircle here, just around the face section. And then the fringing goes straight across the top like so. This is the bit you can sew by hand if you wish. You don't have to sew these on a sewing machine. Foot pedal gone. There we go. Put that there so you can see what I'm doing. That's that. Snip off the thread, and then the fringe goes straight across the top like this. And again, I'm not going to sew right up to the very edge. I'm going to start about 1/4 of an inch in from the side. And just back tack at the end of your stitches, so that's not going to come undone. So let's just undo this and snip this off. Now we're going to put the hat on. Oh no, what? We're going to put the moustache on next. Let's get this bit finished. So my moustache can be sewn, but I'm going to glue it because that's going to be a little bit quicker. And these aren't going to go in the wash, but if you wanted to use a strong fabric glue that can be washed, then that's fine, of course. So just a little piece of glue right in the centre, and that goes just over the centre of the face. You can open that out. You could put a little bit more glue or a spot more glue on the sides if you wanted to, just to hold that in place like so. And there. Then we'll have the nose. And as I said earlier, you could use a button for this if you wanted to. Like there. Then we'll have the eyes. This is why I wanted the tweezers, so I'm not going to get glue all over my fingers while I'm doing this. Although it might just be easier to get glue all over my fingers, to be fair. So there we go, a bit of glue on here. And I always think it looks quite funny when the eyes are really close together. But experiment before you glue with different kind of expressions. You could add some, some eyebrows as well. Might be quite fun. There we go, a bit of glue on here. Make sure they're nice and even. And then the blusher and the cotton bud were to give him a nice rosy glow on his cheeks. And you'll start to see a little bit of character, I think, when you get the pinkness like that. So any old blusher. Doesn't have to be pink, could be red. And you know what? We're going to have a little bit on the end of his nose as well, because it's quite cold out there. There. Now normally I'd leave that for a couple of minutes just for that glue to dry and set perfectly. And then we'll need to sew this piece to the front of the Santa hat. Now this is why I didn't sew right up to the edge, because I don't want to see the stitches on the top. So I need to fold the beard out of the way. So I will put a few pins around here. So you can see I've got the side of the face that matches the side of the hat. And just sew straight around the edge. And that means that I've made a pocket that I can put all kinds of things in. So again, just catching, just rethread my needle, that's just come undone. And again, if you did want to sew all of this by hand, then of course, it's very easy to do that. You could use a blanket stitch, would look really nice, I think. Come on. There we go. So a few stitches backwards to secure, and then making sure that beard is kept out of the way, we're just going to sew around the whole circle. So let's trim off the threads. Take out my pins. So we're almost finished. I could put a little bit of glue behind there to hold that in place as well if I wanted to. And there's the pocket in the top. So now all I need to do is to fold over the top of the hat, and again you can put a hand stitch in that if that makes it easier to hold it in place. But I'm just going to use a spot of glue. So right at the top of the hat, fold that over. Make sure you've still got enough room to actually put things inside the hat, or inside the face I should say. And then the final part is to pop the pom-pom on the side. So there, my Santa face finished, just got to wait for the glue to dry, with the gap at the top that I can put the knives and forks in. But of course you could use this for so many different things. You could put a little hook on the back or a loop of ribbon and hang it on the Christmas tree. If you're giving the gift of things like vouchers, and you don't just want to put a voucher or money inside an envelope, then you can pop it inside here. And it's not obvious that there is actually a pocket there, so you could quite easily hang presents on the Christmas tree without people in your home, or maybe the kids, even realising that they can just reach inside and take them out. You could keep pencils inside here, but designed initially, of course, to keep things like knives and forks and spoons for the Christmas dinner table. Even have one with a napkin rolled up inside. But I think you'll agree, really quick, really simple to make, and loads of fun. Enjoy making yours.